promo that I made so that the entire story of this particular episode, okay, and this particular episode can be concised into a 15 second. All right. And so this is the way where we are to create our personal story. It need not be everything. It needs to be one surgical story. And I don't mean your personal story. I mean the story which you are planning to put out there, the narrative that you stand for, which then distills down. We also need to understand today there is a difference between a brand strategy, there is a difference between a narrative strategy. We are going to understand both. All right. So, for people who have been joining me from multiple of these sessions that I do, I personally thought content creation and filmmaking is something which people have been doing immensely these days because the tools are democratized. But nobody is actually speaking about telling a good story. Everybody is making a great image, everybody is making a 15-second, a decent video, but nobody is building better stories. And why stories are very important, why a strong narrative is important, because as a human society that actually drives us forward. We can't be saying yes to all the narratives that are being peddled to us. So understanding this and how these companies also use this storytelling, how we also help companies to build storytelling, is the entire agenda of this session. I'm just going to quickly present and show you the video that we made in the morning. 1 second.
Here we explore the journeys of remarkable brands, break down the stories behind them, and sketch the strategy that makes them unforgettable. Because a brand isn't just a logo, it's a narrative.
What does it say? The brand isn't just a logo. It says a brand isn't just a logo, it's a narrative. That is very important for us to know. There is a huge difference between brand strategy and narrative strategy. Narrative strategy actually stands above brand strategy. And that is what we are going to understand today. All right. So I hope most of you have joined. Just drop in the chat where are you guys joining from so that I understand if you guys are hearing me loud and clear. Dropping in the chat. When I say where are you joining from, meaning the country, the place, and what platform? Because I'm going live on all the platforms. All right. Great. Great. Many people have been joining in from the US, some people from Dubai, people from Indore, people from Mumbai. Amazing. We have a mix of people here who are going to take away. I'll try to add value to whatever or how much time you're spending here. That's why I have structured this entire session so that most of your time, not even not most of your time's not wasted. I don't mean to waste anybody's time, not even mine. All right, so let's quickly get going since we have understood the agenda. All right, so today we are going to understand from now, we are going to understand a major problem, which I'll take as a case study for you guys to understand how narrative actually builds towards a, a profitable brand in itself. I'm going to also take you guys through what is the difference between the brand strategy and a narrative strategy. Then there'll be a guest coming in so that he or she would add value to whatever this session is, the narrative session is. Then I'm going to also give a test to you guys so that you can take in understand exactly how to come to your particular story. Then I am going to show you the method of how do you basically come up with your stronger story, and then I'm going to do some narrative surgery with people who have joined in the session. I'll be sharing those links with you on LinkedIn. I've locked in few people, but feel free to drop in the chat if you want to be part of it. But I'll take you through the entire session. I'll take you through the different details that I have today, And once you lock in on your answers, only then just drop in the chat, and I'm going to send a joining link to you so you guys can join in and we can have a conversation. All right, so let's move forward. Like I said before, many people have been speaking about storytelling. We are the ones who actually make the stories. I'm a filmmaker and a narrative strategist. Have 14 years of experience in filmmaking. Have a production house. I'm the co-founder of that production house. And a few years ago, I had to take uh, a step back in understanding that the technology was evolving so rapidly that I had to carve out a particular set of team and train them into AI. And then we realized that AI is not just tools. AI can be utilized to optimize the time, optimize the revenue as well. And from then, the entire journey of us into AI content creation began. I have worked with multiple organizations like Warner Brothers, Cartoon Network, Pogo, HBO, Geo Hotstar, Z. Some of the organizations I've still consult. I've developed a lot of content for largest OTT platforms. So when it comes to films, I don't necessarily just shoot one film. All right. What I do is design narratives or what exactly is a particular quarter of films is going to be. So that's where my job comes above any of the directors, because I choose the different directors so that the particular story or the particular way the OTT platform or a studio wants to position themselves, they put out a certain set of movies. So my job is always at the back end. It's been uh, it's been very strange for me to come out and speak about certain things which I never spoke about. But behind all the content that we consume, there is certain thread of narrative which is going on, and that thread is something which I want you to understand how it's thought of. Right now, it's very important for me to tell you because most of the busy work is taken care of because AI is there. So, what exactly are humans supposed to do? We are supposed to focus on the finer details which go behind any story, which is the narrative, and that is very important. And I can't stress on this enough. All right. I have trained over a lakh professionals. Of course, I work with, I mentor with Outskill. Most of you must have got to know of me from Outskill only. I lead the Bharat Rebrand project, which is a project we are working on a very large scale to rebrand how India is positioned globally. And that's something which is very close to my heart, which also started off with a very personal story, which I'm going to also share with you. I'm the creator of Ancient Indian Billionaires. This is a transmedia project that I've been working on, which means it's going to be a movie series, interactive art, gaming, every platform combined. I recently launched a video where I speak about why exactly are we consume content in these rectangles. So nobody's asking those questions because most of the strain is coming on the eyes. So I felt that instead of just me keeping on making films, attacking certain problems which I am also facing as a company, where I'm just stuck with these rectangles, I thought of speaking. I thought of speaking about it, and that's the video I've been putting out. My frequency of putting out videos is quite less, but when I do, I really like spend a lot of time on it because you as an audience deserve better content. You as an audience do not deserve AI slop. That is what I am actually fighting against. Okay, I have designed narrative systems for the AI era, and that's what I've been doing for few companies as well. And my close to my heart mission is rebranding India to Bharat. Now, Bharat is an ancient civilizational name of India. The whole idea is to go back to who we were as people because certain stereotypes about India have been shown, and I do not like those stereotypes. And I'm in this mission to change those stereotypes, not aggressively by dissing every other civilization. Every other civilization has their own identity. What I am trying to do is have India focus on what the identity was so we can model our future properly. It's a very positive approach that I'm taking towards content. I do not like if any India is shown, then only cow shots are shown and only poverty is shown. I don't belong to that kind of an India. That India is there, but that need not be only identity of India. So that's how the narrative is peddled across the globe, and I understand. I understand that right now certain things are changing, but me as a citizen is just pushing towards that particular goal. All right. I have a newsletter also where it's called AI with a side eye, where you have to look at AI or any other technology which is come in with a side eye purely because everything else is becoming synthetic and artificial. So might as well focus on the human aspect of things. So, looking at any technology with a side eye is very important because most of these companies have these research and development departments. They are making technology and then finding the problem. I feel that that's a big problem which you are going through, and that's the reason why I've launched this newsletter as well. Feel free to subscribe; it's on my channel. Okay, all right. Let's move ahead. So I'll tell you exactly how the narrative DNA came into place. So I'm a filmmaker who actually got tired of the status quo and how India is positioned globally. So the wound was that I did not like how India is shown. The enemy was the system which is misrepresenting India. And the quest is I'm using this technology to build a future towards what the right identity of India should be. And my ritual is that I am putting myself out there by focusing on telling people exactly what my narrative is. Now, this is the particular framework that you guys need to follow. So feel free to take a screenshot right now because this is very important. It's very important for us to own our narrative. I want you to tell me in the chat. I want you to tell me in the chat right now, why do most personal brands collapse? Tell me in the chat. Why do most personal brands collapse? And it's definitely not brand strategy. I'm going to give you 10 more seconds. Feel free to type in. Good. For people who have understood, I'm going to tell you exactly what the problem is. Most of the personal brands collapse because they are built for content and not identity. We go on ChatGPT. Hey, I am an IT professional. I need to create something for my personal brand. Or hey, this is my particular brand. I need to create content on social media for my personal brand. ChatGPT or any of these LLMs will give you some random answer, will give you some random answer. Now, people who have attended my sessions, you have understood that I go to my LLMs and inside those LLMs, I make sure that I put in the details that who I am, what I like, and what exactly do I stand for. That particular framework, by the end of this session, you will understand how do you derive to that particular framework. Once you put that framework into any of these LLMs, that is when you can create content which stays true to your identity. Now, that is what you need to focus on. All right. I'll tell you the major problem about, I'll give you an example how this happened. Now, what happened with yoga? Okay, there is a particular life cycle which I'll take you through. It's quite interesting, a case study. It originated in India. Yoga originated in India to reach the highest form of spirituality. All right. It got distilled down when it went to the West, because obviously, not saying that is a problem with the West. It's how the people and the culture is. All right. So when it came down, most of the yoga, which was esoteric, became very physical. It went to the West. The West loved the idea because the physical exercises or the stretching it gave was phenomenal. The idea was to increase your internal energy, but then it became about stretching. It became about wellness and mindfulness. It didn't become about the fact that we wanted to reach God. All right. So when it got repackaged and it came back to India and it got sold back to us with a premium. Right now, the biggest export is the yoga pants. There is huge Chinese market when it comes to those yoga mats, and there is huge market for online yoga classes. There, it's not even yoga; it's yoga, which means union. All right. So imagine when the yoga went to the West. Imagine it got detached from spirituality, went to physicality. It came back again, became physical. Imagine if the depth of the East, the spirituality of the East, would have met the innovative spirit of the West. Yoga would have been some crazy philosophy at this stage, but right now it's become commoditized. All right. So, this particular problem is what I wanted to tell you about. This is where, if the narrative would have been right, this wouldn't have been a problem with India. Indians per se, Generally, what happens right now, everybody is too outgoing, but Indians very internal. They go deep. That is the entire idea of yoga. But that did not happen, and we didn't feel like marketing because it was not needed. All right, so I'll tell you how the narrative theft cycle works. You create something, like for example, you have a particular brand, you create something original which is rooted in culture, craft, or whatever philosophy your brand goes for. You don't define it, all right? No narrative infrastructure, no story, nothing. Then others love the idea, but they package it supremely well. Okay, so we have Western lens, new branding discovered by them. All right, then it returns back to you only. It returns back home. It returns back home, and then you buy it for a premium. This is the problem when your story is not set. This is the problem when your narrative immunity is not set. This is not brand strategy. Tell me, this is such a huge life cycle. Yoga went to the US almost a century ago. Yoganand Paramhans, even before that, Swami Vivekanand went to Chicago. That is the time when we actually spoke about Hindu religion. Then Paramhans Yoganand came up with a book called as Autobiography of a Yogi. Then he introduced Kriya Yoga. Then multiple of these gurus went there, and my lord, I think BKS Iyengar was the last guru whose yoga still is really popular there. All right, so you have to understand, you have to make sure that your particular, now this is a global problem, but you on a personal level have to really set your narrative straight. That is really important. All right, let's move ahead and understand the difference between a brand strategy and a narrative strategy. I hope I'm not going too fast. I just feel that these important topics need to be condensed and you need to focus really well. Make sure that you drop in the comments if I'm going really fast. And any which way, I think the recording, I'll upload it so you can always hear it back. But be with me right now. There are a lot of uh, many other things I'm going to expose today. All right. So the difference between a strategy and a narrative are brand strategy is what you say about yourself, and narrative strategy is what the world says about you. Now, for example, you are a brand which is well known. Narrative strategy basically does those two meetings, two sales calls, it already does for you. You just walk into a room to lock a particular deal. So that is the importance of a narrative strategy. Brand strategy lives in your pitch deck, narrative lives in your culture, wherever you're from. It need not be from India. Wherever, whatever culture you resonate with. All right. Narrative brand strategy can be copied by competitors. Narrative strategy cannot be replicated because you don't know how to replicate the lived experience, which is where AI will fall flat when it comes to narrative strategy. You have to know what is your internal metric for you to come up with a narrative strategy. And I'm going to distill it down so you can figure this out. Changes with marketing conditions, changes with market conditions. Brand strategy changes, all right, but narrative stays consistent. Brand strategy fights for attention, narrative strategy builds gravity. Brand strategy, very controllable internally. You can change the metric of what is the target, what is the audience. Narrative strategy is earned. You cannot think or control how your name is spreading worldwide. So attention is rented and gravity is owned. That is the difference. All right. I tell you one more example about South Korea. South Korea, the biggest example. For me, it is the greatest example, the way they have exported their soft power. South Korea's Hallyu strategy has government pumping in money into pop culture. That's the reason why in small areas, even in India, we have Korean kimchi burgers. That's why McDonald's is selling us kimchi burgers. Of course, they do have aloo maktiki also, which is very Indian, but it is still selling us that. Our entire clothing has become very Korean. Our skincare has increased. The uses of skincare has increased because of Korea. K dramas have gone crazy. And of course, the brand whom I also work with, very famous gaming platform from Korea. Korea has managed to be in all the aspects of our lives without us knowing it also. That is the power of how you can export soft power with a very strong narrative. So the outputs are K-pop, K-drama, the Parasite movie. It's also it's a great movie, but everything happening together just makes me feel that it's a big narrative which is going on, like a Parasite also, and then Squid Games also becoming popular. Gentle Monster as a company bringing people to the stores. They're just selling shades and they're selling optics, but they're bringing people to the store. And K Beauty, all of this is by a single narrative strategy called as Hallyu, where whoever controls the narrative controls the market. Understand? This is on a country level. Imagine distilling it. Sorry for the fumble. Distilling it down for your personal brand. It is still going to work, and it is still going to have a huge impact. All right. Gentle Monster as a company I want to speak about. There are six people who design the eyewear. Actually, Gentle Monster is now owned by the company who also owns Ray-Ban, but they both have very different brand strategy. Narrative strategy doesn't change. Six people who design their eyewear, 60 design their in-store experience in the world. I also made a video on this. In the world where we are adding everything to the cart, Gentle Monster is expecting people to come to the store and experience the store. I mean, that's a different league altogether. That's going against the wave and expecting the wave to be coming towards you. That's crazy. All right, now I'll tell you about an Indian brand. What is about Tata? It is about Tata. Tata's Nano specifically. For people outside India, Tata is a global brand. Tata started in the pre-independence era. Their entire narrative was we build the nation. The strongest narrative they could have. They did not want India to be relied completely on they did not want India to be relied completely on British infrastructure. So Tata made their own companies and they had a strong mission that we will build for India in India. All right. So what happened is Tata went through a huge failure. Not at that time, but very recently, I mean, a decade ago, they launched a car called as Tata Nano. Now, the entire deal about Tata Nano was that it is an affordable car. It did not work in the market at all because people said that we buy a car for aspiration. Now you're making car available as two wheelers or scooters, as Indians would call it. Then I don't want to buy this car. This car failed exponentially, but Tata did not fail. Tata actually came up because their narrative was very, very strong. And they, in parallel, also have a car company called as Jaguar. They of course bought Jaguar, which is positioned for luxury. So Tata, even if one failure happened, did not go down as a company. All right, because they had a very strong narrative. Same with Zomato, same with Haldiram. That is how these companies are also working. Very strong online presence with a very strong quirky kind of a narrative for Zomato. Haldirams is a sweet. It's a sweet brand for people outside India. This is where the sweets are sold. But that kind of a shop is there all over. Like it's all over India. There are those local shops also. But why did Haldiram became popular? Because it was a trusted family name. They built that legacy. They had that consistency that reminded you of home. Their packaging made it gift worthy, and their narrative was tradition and trust. Okay, that is exactly how Haldiram also became popular. All right, so this is the framework what I want you to take a screenshot of. I've been speaking about it in the sessions also, but I can't stress on this enough. This is the narrative, tech, and impact kind of a framework where you have to like this is something which I'm putting my own example. My narrative is I want my culture to be reclaimed in the form of becoming Bharat. The technology that I'm using is all the AI infrastructure that I have. I do not speak about tools because tools are getting evolving crazily. I'm not the tools guy. I'm adopting to the tools faster. but I'm not the tools guy. My focus is if the tool is supporting my narrative, then I'm going to use the tool. Otherwise, I'm not going to use the tool. And what is the impact? I'm trying to shift the perspective of India by launching faster. Initially, one movie used to take a long time. I'm launching faster because of this infrastructure. That's why the impact is more, and that's what leads to the brand immunity. So you have to have a strong narrative, you have to use the right technology, and then you have to also add what impact you are expecting, which leads to your brand immunity. Now I'll tell you how do you come up with a narrative. Okay, so the how you come up with a narrative is very simple, and right now please write it down. All right, there is something in Sanskrit called as prakriti, the nature. What exactly do you do? All right, what is something which you are expected the other person to feel, which is the rasa, and what is the lakshan, like what is the impact you're looking at. All right, what is the impact you're looking at? That is what you need to focus on. All right, so I've now officially reached the 7:30 mark where I wanted to invite a particular guest. I'll just quickly see if that guest is here, and then we will move ahead. All right, 1 second. No problem. I think the guest is going to take some amount of time. What I'm going to do is move ahead, and you guys can let's do this. I was super excited for this any which ways. All right. So now you guys Now, what you guys need to do is write down these questions, and this is the story test DNA. You have to come up with your answer in 60 seconds, and I'm going to call some of you online so that you can join me and discuss this in detail. What is the one thing you do that nobody else does? Do not think, just write it down. What is your earliest memory that shaped you? Do not think, write it down, like I said again. And what is your North Star? What is your non negotiable direction? I'll give you 60 seconds, write it down, and then let's move ahead from this. Till then, I'm going to send the joining link to people who had applied for the narrative surgery. Right? People who want to join the narrative surgery, after you're done writing this, feel free to drop me a hi on LinkedIn so that I can send you the joining link. Feel free to drop in the LinkedIn chats. Not the LinkedIn chats, actually drop me a DM so I can just send you the link. All right, 15 more seconds. I hope you have written it down. This is your roadmap towards coming up with a very strong narrative. All right. I'm hoping you guys have done it. For people who just check in your DMs, I've sent you the link. I have Ankita who's DM me. Do you want to join the chat? Feel free. Okay, this is here. Hi.
Okay, I turned it down. Hi.
Hi, how's it going? First of all, I would love to know how do you pronounce your name?
It's Chris. It's just spelled funky, but it's Chris.
Ah, okay, okay. I tried to do that. I tried to Google it as well, but I couldn't find it.
No, no hope.
All right, all right. So we have 5 minutes where we do the narrative surgery. I
Okay.
hope you have got the questions. Let's quickly have a conversation and then move forward.
This is fabulous. This is fabulous. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, you go ahead. This is the
Oh,
first question. What is the
okay.
one thing you do that nobody else does?
Um, have a help women or work with women to align their identity, biology, and strategy so that they can arrive at businesses and quality of life that they otherwise would not be able to.
Right, right. That's actually pretty noble. Thanks for doing that. What is your earliest memory that shaped you?
The earliest one, believe it or not, I was 4, and I didn't come about this until quite recently, rather. I was 4 years old. I was sitting with my mom, and she had certain friends, some friends over. And I was in my rocking chair listening to them, watching them have a great time. And then all of a sudden, one of the ladies said that she'll no longer be able to join them
Hmm.
and do some other stuff because of changes with her husband's job. And another woman immediately said, "Yeah, that's right, because it's men that do the important work." And
Right.
I stopped rocking. I looked up at my mom. My mom was nodding. Then I looked at the other women because there had to be about 8 total there, and they all were nodding. And at 4 years old, I felt a weight on my chest,
Hmm.
and something just didn't seem right because I knew them. Some worked, some didn't, but they
Yeah.
all worked very hard. And so I started rocking again. And I believe it was then that I kind of resolved that I was going to do important work too. And somehow I didn't carry that with me, but
Hmm.
eventually that became business. And I view business as a vehicle for women to become all they were created to be and have the impact that they are designed to have.
Oh, that's crazy. So that was the earliest memory that shaped you, you're saying.
Hmm.
Right. So then how what is your non-negotiable direction then? Now you have since you have commoditized this particular feeling into a business. I'm assuming that's a business and it's
Yes, yes, I'm a strategist, consultant, as well as creator.
how have you commodified that?
Actually, developed my patent pending framework and methodology is called the biointelligence strategy. We work with women, like I said, to align their identity, reconnect them to who they are, because there have been several pivots over the past like decade or so that's made it obvious how disconnected people are from themselves. Also impacted by that are the women who are entering the corporate to entrepreneur pipeline, but are just working for another job. So my non-negotiable is I always start with the individual first, who
Hmm.
they are.
That's interesting. So essentially, how does that translate into a business? How is it a business?
Oh, you you be surprised. Um, because we live on auto, we've gotten out the habit of even knowing what we want. It
Yeah.
is very much a spiritual aspect that's at the root of that, because I've worked with women over the past 2 decades, and I can tell you whether they're earning 4 figures or whether they're earning 7 figures, there's been an undercurrent. I noticed that not only are they living beneath their capability, but they're questioning if they should be doing what they're showing, what they are actually doing, if they should be successful. And that's responsible for a series of the stutter starts that you see. They're holding back when they should be moving forward. So I go through a process utilizing my proprietary frameworks where we put them back in touch with who they are, their original desires, what they originally set out to do. Besides finding that they build ladders against the wrong wall, they find out they've created another job for themselves because they left corporate perhaps a long time ago, but they're still working for someone else. It's just that now it's their company.
Understood. So what I'm trying to get at is, since you have a proprietary framework, you
Hmm.
feel that that framework is going to really help women, right?
Yes.
How do you translate that into a business? Is it like quantified for me? Let me understand. Do you
Oh,
offer
okay.
those services?
Yeah, so the three-step process, again, reconnecting them, getting to the root of who they are, and then we help them identify triggers and countermeasures that would hold them back, things that are easy to fall back into. From arriving at who they are is physical as well as what you hear, not exactly mindfulness, but yeah, becoming aware of where their actions are aligned and what's not. That eventually translates into better customer experiences because the ways of working, one of the examples that I use is that in the wintertime, humans are the only species that are trying to bloom in winter. Nature is at rest. Everything around you is obviously like, okay, I'm in process. There's good stuff going on underneath, but you'll see it in the spring. Yeah,
Santa Claus.
yeah, exactly. So we are acting against our own nature, often out of season. And so something that's simple, say that your best time of year, you are awesome, awesome, awesome in the wintertime. Okay. Let's say that you're one of those people, you love the cold, but you're running your major marketing campaigns in June when you're low energy. And
Hmm.
you claim that customers are more frustrating at that time. You're exhausted at that time. And so what I do is I take their natural wiring, their natural inclinations, things they're interested in, bring some of that into their business so that they can form better customer experiences. And it has never failed that when they introduce more of who they are, rather
Right.
than putting it inside this corporate box, that the customers are like, hey, I like this too. And wow, this is the greatest thing. I never would have associated your product or thought that I could use, your service and this at the same time. And
All
so
right.
it's just a
Understood.
better experience all the
I
way
got
around.
it. I got it. Just a quick note for everybody who's watching. This is the narrative surgery framework. Just feel free to add these details, and when I call you on the chat, make sure you add in all those details, and then we can have a conversation. Chris, in this, I understand your wound. I understand your quest. I also understand your ritual because you have like a framework going on. Who exactly? What exactly makes you angry in your industry?
What makes me, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
What exactly makes you angry in your industry?
Oh, well, I'm actually industry agnostic. I don't operate in any one, but
You are
I
in a
do operate situationally.
I think
And
you are in a training industry, right? You train, education and
I'm
training.
Well, I'm a consultant. The training would fall back on the methodologies that I teach. But I work solely with women entrepreneurs or entrepreneurial women.
Understood.
What
Understood.
situationally pisses me off is anytime I see a woman living beneath her capability. Um, I believe that my reason for being here is to remind women of who they are, that they
Right.
are indeed strong, to tell them that they can, and to show them the way. And that's what
Understood.
I do via business.
Understood. So, what exactly do you think is lacking in your business, except the pushback from your customers, pushback from your actual customers who are living beneath their actual potential, right? That's your problem, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
The thing that's missing, which is so funny, because I've been doing this, I can do this no brainer for all of my clients, do it quite well. They're very happy. But when it comes to myself, my challenge is the messaging.
Hmm.
Um, putting the full scope of what I do and its importance into a simple, compact message that not only allows ideal clients to potentially identify themselves, see themselves in that message, resonate with it, but for them to understand it and then be able to repeat it to someone else who needs what we have to offer. So you're the consultant's consultant.
So I get it. I understand. The problem is pretty complex when it comes to these blockages that people have in their mind. We have the same problem when people want to make content, but it make content in AI, but shouldn't look AI.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's a problem. That's a problem that we also face. How we actually counter it by saying is not going against, or we change the entire narrative by saying, similar to how Avatar movie is or Star Wars is, they use VFX, right? They're not shooting in space, right?
Right.
So AI becomes one of the tool and not like a storytelling engine. It becomes a tool to tell a story through. Are you getting what I'm saying? Do you want me
Yes.
to distill it down for you?
No,
What
I
we I'm,
was I was one of your students, so I'm getting this.
what I'm trying to get at is I face the problem of people telling me this content looks very much AI. I'm like, this is AI. So it is going to look like AI. What
Mhm.
we are trying to attack is the person's conditioning at the same point of time by saying that when it comes to gaming, for example, gaming has those very cheap 3D level graphics where the lip sync is not there, there are no emotions on the face, but people still focus on the story and they are happy that they are interacting with it.
Yeah.
Okay. They are not focusing on the outer shell of gaming. They are not focusing on the animation there. Right now, with AI coming in, people are too much focused on the tools. So we bring them back to the story. Then we tell them either you want to shoot it, we can shoot it, but you want to do it cheaper, then we can do it in AI.
Gotcha.
So attacking the main story or attacking the main conditioning is what has led us to become one of the biggest studios to give content. Of course, we shoot also, but we do heavy AI content creation. All
Hmm.
right.
And you do
So
amazing work. Oh my gosh.
thank you for
That's
that. But
fabulous.
I'm just trying to tell you that attacking the conditioning, and I think you are doing it really well, where you get really angry when people push back. Your customers push back and they are not reaching their own potential, but giving them a glimpse of what can happen. What is the ideal scenario if we listen to Chris? What is the ideal scenario? Showcasing them that it can
Gotcha.
be completely out of this world. But if you aim higher, then at least you'll reach somewhere on the top. You can't start off with a smaller target itself or a smaller roof in itself. So I
Hmm.
think that might be, and I'm sure you must be figuring that out as well. But what I have to tell you about this is particular this thing only when it comes to conditioning. Just aim very much higher where the other person feels overwhelmed. The overwhelming response which they give you listening to your ideas is something which is going to at least drive the conversation ahead.
Gotcha. Yeah, maybe because I hike. I'm the adventurous one in the family. I love hiking, zip lining, aerial obstacle courses, all of that. And I've pulled some of that imagery in because it's very much about a journey and navigating different terrain. So perhaps I should bring that more in and make it symbolic about how they are journeying and navigating the terrain, and we're providing direction then.
Yeah, I think you should start. What I was trying to understand, and please don't take this personally. I'm trying
Yeah.
to
No.
also look at it from a very third person perspective. There are a lot of jargons that are being thrown for something which is very simple. Like if you build it into a proper story, when I say story, a roadmap, destination A to the destination B need not have so much of framework in it, but calling more the frameworks more than obstacles or pit stops. Changing the tonality also might be getting your people to get more engaged with you, is what I feel. I mean, of course,
Okay.
we just spoken in the first place. I might be judging too fast, but based on conversation right now, I just felt that that's simplifying the language. So we
Okay.
don't come across as the only one.
I appreciate that. No, that's valuable insight. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. I think I'm going to move ahead, but I hope this has found value. I hope you have found
Most
value.
definitely. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Awesome. That was Chris. Thank you so much, Chris, for actually putting out all the information which was there in your head. And I urge all of you to right now do a narrative surgery on yourself. Focus on your wound. What is your enemy? The quest and the ritual. When I say wound, do not leak out emotional or personal details. Have to speak about why exactly why you started in the first place. The problem with personal brands these days is it's getting too personal. The idea is not to become too personal. The idea is to be very surgical about what you want to showcase. It's just called personal brand. I call it like surgical showcase. I think that is the best way to put it out. The wound needs to be very clear. What made you start this? The enemy. All right, what in your industry, which means you have to understand what industry you belong to. The quest, if you succeed, what changes in the world. You can't just like saying that I'm just making money out of this, which is fine. You can live your life the way you want to be, but you are in this session. You need to focus on something which leads to a larger impact. All right, so that is something which I would like to move on from. I'm going to quickly check if there is somebody else who wants to be part of the narrative surgery. If not, let's. Is there anyone who wants to be part of the narrative surgery? We still have some amount of time before I move into giving you the workbook, which is really essential. Or I think I have an Ankita, but her device looks like it's not connected at all. All right, Rima has entered. I hope Rima, you have a clarity on the narrative surgery details. If that's so, just drop a thumbs up and then I'll admit you. Hello, hello, you there? We have
I am
Rima.
just, yes, yes, yes. Rima is also joining in a minute. I am the co-founder at Enhance Essentials.
Oh, nice to meet you. So if you can just take us through your brand so that we can move forward. I think Ankita's also. You can just join back. What I'll do, I'll add someone else who's there, or if Rima's here.
Sure, sure. I'm here.
Oh, okay, great. Hey, how's it going? Glad to meet
Hi.
co-founders. So if you can
Sorry,
just
I was just,
introduce it,
yeah, sorry.
no
Yeah,
problem.
sure.
If you can just
So,
introduce yourself and your brand.
sure. So, my name is Rima Versi, and this is Ayaz Versi, and our brand's called Enhanced Essentials. So, what we do is basically we manufacture products that are made out of essential oils, and we manufacture essential oils. So we uh, kind of believe that even in whether it is skincare or whatever other products like hair care or anything else, we want to make those products with only natural oils and essential oils in them, nothing else. So cold pressed
Right.
oils and essential oils. That's the idea, and that's what we're trying to do with this brand.
Cold press and only
We
essential.
sorry.
Cold press oils and only essential oils, right?
Correct. Cold pressed oils are the carrier oils which are made out of the pure. I mean, I'm sure you know what cold pressed. So those oils
Understood.
and then yeah, essential oils. So that's what we intend to do. Like so as of now, we have a range of a couple of products. One is we sell the essential oils as is. Then the other is that we sell something called blends, which basically are a mixture of essential oils and they are specific problem targeted. Like for example, if you want something for sleep or you want something to breathe better or you want something to relax. So we have made those preset blends and they are proprietary combinations of essential oils only. So they are natural essential oils completely, but you can use them to target a specific problem that you're facing. We also have
Hmm.
massage oils.
What is the
Again, in
specific you are
huh?
facing? What is your essential oils specific target? I'm curious to know that.
what is my, I mean, I have like multiple essential oils, so it really depends on what people are
No, no,
trying to. Are you asking me? Huh.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get the
I'm asking.
question.
So you mentioned your essential oil is targeting a specific thing. What is that specific thing?
No, so I said that when we do these blends, which are basically combinations of essential oils, they can
Hmm.
target a specific problem that you are facing. For example, it could be a sleep issue, it could be a hair fall issue, it could be breathing, respiratory, colds, congestion, headache, all of that. So I have a bunch of concerns that I've like about 5 to 6 concerns that I've listed down. And we've made these blends that can work for you to kind of naturally cater to those problems. Of course, they're not replacements to medicines and they will not be. However, continuous prolonged use of these essential oils can actually make, like help and, just make things better for you in the long run. And because it's a natural substitute to whatever else that you were using, which is medical or chemical or whatever. So that's the reason we're advocating.
All right, all right. So based on the narrative surgery framework, can you tell me your wound? Why this all started?
I mean, so we've been in the oil manufacturing business for 10 years now. We used to do biodiesel, which was also sort of a best out of waste kind of a thing. So, of course, one aspect to it is that it was, we were struggling with manufacturing of that in the sense selling that product was had wafer thin margins, and we are rather supplying to the government. So, because of that, it is a tender based system. So, it was a little difficult to sustain in that business. Because we had the know how of the oil business, we wanted to do something in oils that could actually, um, kind of natural oils and that could actually, help people and be like sort of a wellness product. So we've been researching this from about 4 5 years now, and just 1 year ago we started this. And when we started this. I have twins who are like 5 years old now, but when I started this about 1.5 year ago, I was still reeling from the effects of postpartum, which I faced. So I thought that, this is a great natural way for a lot of people to, just de-stress and just calm down and then just cater to their hair fall issues. Because I had that for a really long time until I actually started using rosemary in
That's
my hair and all of that. So yeah, sort of that.
I mean, that's a problem which can definitely be one of your north stars in promoting your product, because postpartum depression and postpartum recovery is a very important, a very overlooked kind of a problem. My wife's also pregnant, and we are actually, she gets scared that she's going to face that after May. But that's something which you already have a customer in me. But tell me, what exactly, who are your who are your competitors? Because I have seen many essential oils, many cold press oils. I'm yet to find a differentiator except this personal problem that I'm going through, a personal problem that I've identified. How does it become on a large scale in terms of a market? How does it pan out? How are you facing that? Are you having good sales? How are you differentiating?
So you
So, in terms of sales, we have not there yet. We have not got good sales as of now because number one, uh, as you said, there are a lot of people, a lot of competition in the industry. So we need to
Yeah,
really differentiate. Primarily, we were not in the retail business in the past. So to understand the retail psychology, understand how the retail market, the marketplaces work, it took us some time. So we are learning as we pass through these curves. So the learning phase is still on. So that is one aspect that can be attributed to low sales. Number two, the differentiator, as you are mentioning, there are a lot of brands, there are a lot of products. Yes, I agree to that. So what we are trying to do is, I personally believe in so the which is our product, the brand's title or the brand's ideology as of now is spirituality without religion. So when you look at the world as a whole, in the macro perspective, there's a lot of unrest in so many places, a lot of conflict due to misunderstandings. And if you speak to people who have, so just for a small example, if you speak to people who have been to space, so when they come back and when they do interviews, they always have a perspective that we are a speck of dust in the entire universe. So that is where somewhere we are trying to build on that, where ultimately we have to reconnect to nature. Ultimately we have to go back where we came from, and the entire theory revolves around it. So this is a very small example, a very small gist of how
So just to tell you in a line also, we're
I'm glad,
apart from
I'm glad you
spirituality with
have
a
come. Sorry, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
no, it's just that I just wanted to say that heal with nature is also something that we advocate, where we say that use what nature has to give, and be responsible while using it, so you can give back to nature eventually. And just so a lot of other brands I think have I mean there are brands that are doing natural products, yes, but there are brands, most of them are doing products with chemicals and synthetics and preservatives, because they're large scale brands, and to actually make sense for them, to actually justify costs, they have to do that. Currently,
Mhm.
because our brand is smaller, we're very focused on making sure that the quality is right, and that we're actually doing essential oils only, and products which have those natural essential oils in them. So,
How much of
yeah, I
your,
mean, this is.
if I can ask
Huh.
you, how much of your philosophy of giving back to nature, staying true to nature, translates in different processes of your manufacturing?
So,
Okay, so it translates in the products that we make. As Rima mentioned, we stick to products which are, so for example, we have a product called as room sprays. Usually, perfumes, room sprays, or any fragrant sprays that you get in the market, or at most of the places, they're all synthetic based. We make only sprays or perfumes which are essential oil based. So the products that we use are true to nature. Are though they might not. They so if you compare them to the conventional room sprays or conventional perfumes,
Hmm.
they have a different way of different note of fragrance. They might not seem very familiar. They have different notes. So this is how we are differentiating our manufacturing process, where we use only essential oil based raw materials.
Understood.
also in
Materials.
the process, if you're asking, just in the process, I think also you're asking. So at the factory, maybe like what we do, that's kind of so one thing that we do have is we use solar power, yeah, at our place. We our packaging is in glass bottles,
Hmm.
and
Interesting.
what else? It's recyclable. I mean, the boxes that we use are paper boxes, but they're recyclable, reusable, because we actually spend a lot on packaging. So there's really, like, I mean, essentially very few products where you'll throw away the box. You usually, you can use the box for something else or whatever. So that's something that we've tried to do. Also, another thing worth huh,
No, no, please,
one
please
last
go ahead. To
one
get
last thing
into.
worth mentioning is that I we don't manufacture all our products in house. Okay, because we don't have the so we do have contracts with other manufacturers. However, we are very very strictly monitoring the formulas, the manufacturing process, and the bottling. Like, the entire thing is overlooked by us, but we may not necessarily manufacture that product, so that also happens. But again, under strict supervision of us, it does take place elsewhere as well.
No, that's fine. White labeling is completely fine as long as your
Yeah,
SOP is followed. It's not a problem. What
yeah,
I'm trying to get at is a particular thread which is going to be different because Forest Essentials already has a forest inside its name. So
yeah.
before going to the product, I already know that it's related to nature. Could you tell me the name again of your brand?
Enhanced essentials.
Enhanced Essentials. Enhanced. So how
So
do you
it's
want?
sort of, yeah,
Why?
I'll tell you. So enhanced basically means so it again, the logo that we have kind of shows that it's got like the herbs and the flowers and everything, and there's an oil drop in the middle,
Hmm.
which kind of just signifies that we're saying that we're taking the oils from nature. That's of course yes, but we don't have that in the name. The reason we say enhance is because enhanced means that it will enhance your lifestyle, it will enhance your health, it will enhance your well-being. So all you need to do is add a little bit of this to your existing routine. Say add a few drops of rosemary to your hair care, add a few drops of this thing to your skin care, add a few drops to your diffuser. So whatever, wherever and however you're using it, it's going to enhance your
In a
health,
way, you
your
are
well-being.
natural AI, which is going to enhance our workflow in the day-to-day life. Like
Yeah,
ChatGPT's positioning or globally is that
yeah,
the
correct,
companion who's not going to take
correct,
over you, but we are with you, right? That's your
correct.
positioning with
Something like
your
that.
story. Yeah. So I'm assuming because you want to stay away from, not away, but you want to be on top of forest essentials. You have actually a good call to action that you can enhance everything in your life. That's a great call to action to focus on. When I say that, when it comes to content creation per se, I feel would that's the only way for this, because and going completely above and beyond. You mentioned that you had glass bottles, right?
Uh-huh. We do.
You mentioned you had glass bottles. Like, how big
Correct.
are those bottles? Like small bottle?
All sizes, because we sell 10 mls, we sell 30 mls, we sell 100 mls. So we have
Understood.
all sizes.
So imagine when I might be thinking out aloud here, but these alcohol bottles we generally use to drink water in or just plant our flowers in. You know,
Huh.
having having that kind of an approach, even in terms of your packaging, where our brand is so hidden, our brand is so integrated in your life that it's easy to miss. That is how you can position yourself, just in case, since you're already dabbling in invisibility at this stage because of the similar product range like Forest Essentials. Making content in the DIY space would really help you. Making content in a space where it will use your products in a way where it becomes part of your life. You should study chat gpt's positioning, and I'm going completely away from your industry, because if you want to reach a certain critical mass into a, of course, chat gpt or AI, for example, had the uh, innovation. It already captured the innovation wave, but it still is now positioning itself as only and only the person who needs to be your companion, because Google is there right in opposite them. Then there is Claude right opposite them. You should check out what Claude is doing. Claude is actually, essentially, Claude is an LLM, like ChatGPT. What it's essentially doing is not catering to the coding audience when it comes to online presence. What it's doing, it's catering to the artists, that you can make your different art using our prompts. You can make different artifacts, you can make different. So basically the main point being that it can be used for coding. It actually brought it down to a point where, to reach critical mass, they are speaking to people like myself. You can make your products, like, say for example, you're a photographer. You can make an artifact by saying, or identify this particular building, identify this particular bird. It is actually catering to people like myself. So when it comes to your stronger positioning, I like what you had mentioned initially about uh, not the spirituality without religion, because that without word would not help you at all. But when it comes to I think you mentioned something about nature, right? There was a line that you guys gave in.
Healing with nature. Heal with
Yeah,
nature.
dealing with nature, enhancing nature. If you move into that zone where it is about enhancing stuff, it is about that kind of a wellness, that might be your positioning differentiator.
Correct.
And I don't think it will only be with those cliche visuals where you just put in a drop and the flower bud blooms. That will not work. That will definitely not work. What you need to focus on is go completely off the grid. This is the Enhanced Essentials bottle, which is just placed as a nice centerpiece. So, focusing on your packaging. I'm not saying to make a centerpiece. I'm just trying to say go completely off if you want to break the market. Otherwise, it's very difficult a journey. especially with the
Correct.
marketing budget for Forest Essentials. In fact, I'm catering to a client which is now also in the mid range between like just below Forest Essentials. They have to pivot to just focus on their supplements, which are natural supplements. They are not able to beat them with oils per se.
Correct.
I think you both co-founders definitely don't speak about yourself. Speak about the space thing that you mentioned, the larger belief that nature is going to help you. Like for
Yes.
example, one of my friends, she had a brand called as Zero Circle. What does that mean? They were basically finding a substitute for plastic. So they used to take seaweed and make their own plastic, which is degradable. So our entire positioning was like that, about sea and saving turtles, about saving aquatic animals. If you can position yourself like that and go even overboard when it comes to, you mentioned that one point about going like in space, and when you somebody goes in space, they see that everything else is a speck of dust. So why are we forgetting that? So having that kind of a narrative, which is very global, when it comes to global warming kind of a scenario, and then coming down to your product might help you. Having a larger mission, not a large company, a larger narrative might help you, instead of
Okay.
those cliche visuals of your bottles behind forest and stream going in front. Don't do that. And I also like the point of your our factories have solar. So ingraining this kind of a narrative, I'm not saying do everything per se like that. I'm saying ingraining these stories to each and every aspect of your production line. Energy, solar. Bottling, no plastic, glass. So you can reuse it. You have to tell people that every step we take leads to your life being enhanced. So that might really help.
Yeah, that's a good perspective.
I'm glad. Of course, this is a longer conversation, longer discussion, but at least don't think small is what I'm trying to tell you, because the competitors are thinking huge, especially with their markets.
Correct.
So having a huge story might help you. Product essentially is the same.
The products. So most of the industries that we thought of entering before we entered this industry, even the manufacturing setup that we already have, the biodiesel setup. The
Hmm.
thing is, there usually in the country there's a lot of competition in all the spaces. It is irrespective of the industry. It is irrespective of the position you are at. Very few industries have had little competition, but most of them have had competition. The only factor is the differentiator that we will have.
No, I
So this is
mean, competition is fine, but how are you going to counter their marketing budgets?
correct.
It's not possible. Marketing, you'll need like, if you don't have
Yes.
sales, can you put in like 100% of your budget in marketing just to break the market? I don't think. I mean, I'm assuming, I'm not trying to downsell your brand, but I'm trying to tell you that if sales are not that good, spending that much time on marketing would not make get you any of the sales.
Correct.
Correct. So
Is
according to you, the focus should be the narrative and positioning.
because otherwise then you have focus on your money. Otherwise आप पैसे उठाओ, you just get the money out and then put it on marketing, target, just calculate your ROAS based on that, target ad, see if your sales are getting that kind of a business. In terms of the products, and I'm not talking about services. When it comes to products, any of your competitor can just beat you with your, charge your product 100 rupees, they'll come to 95, and the
Yeah.
entire
That happens.
the entire your market is broken. You can never counter it with with discounts. You have to
Correct.
counter it with the story. There is no other option. You should check out Brooklyn Coffee Shop. There is a Instagram channel. It's about a coffee shop. They sell coffee only, but then they have these fictional Instagram stories, 3-person conversations going on. You can have something like that. How your enhanced can you can make those fictional stories like that coming into your factory or probably into your shop. You don't have to act yourself. Three actors can just do the job. Just check out Brooklyn Coffee Shop. That might work for you.
Brooklyn Coffee Shop. Also, do you think an offline presence would help in this case?
I'm assuming the offline presence will would increase your overhead cost. I'm not, I don't think that is on the table at this stage. If it is, then of course, one offline presence is essential because India, if you're selling for India, even if you're an online brand, offline presence is supremely essential when it comes to Lenskart. It's online only, right? But they have to have those online presence because we like those touch points. So either then you don't go online only then go only offline and just one ad that we and position it like that we are not there online because it is causing a lot of global warming. So
Okay.
if you want to go in that zone and have a very beautifully designed store, then I think it might work. But just this also, that also might not work. Something radical would help you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys. I hope you found
Thank you.
value.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So we have the final one who's coming in. Hi, Ankita. I know you have been waiting for some time, but before,
I cannot hear you.
can you hear me? I think there is a problem on your side because it's everybody else can hear. Can you hear me? All right, I think Ankita, you can just fix the technicalities from your side. All right, so I'm going to move ahead first and just explain it to you how exactly are you going to approach this particular framework. Like I said, again, what made you start this? It need not be a very personal story. Do not leak emotional details. That's not important. After the emotional details happen, exactly when you took the step is what we need to understand. In this case, who is your enemy, which means your competitors. And when I say competitors, not just the industry but the entire system. When it comes to your system, like for example, you're a freelancer and you're a graphic designer, the system which does not let you freelance and become your own solo entrepreneur is the problem. So how are you going to counter that? The quest, exactly what is going to happen if you become successful. Then what do people already do repeatedly with you? You can never forget that. You should never forget that. Don't start something new if something's already working. Do not reinvent the wheel again and again. If it's working for you, make sure that becomes your ritual. All right. Now this is something which I want you guys to take as your workbook. This is a 7-day conversation which I urge everyone who's attending this session to have to come up with a stronger narrative. I've broken it down. Initially, when I started my AI journey, I really wanted to understand who I am. Now, I'll tell you why this is very important. Every day, we are hammered with thousands and thousands of ads. Every day, there is so much of, when I say hammering, that's just hammering only. There's so much of hammering when it comes to information. There is a problem. There are times when most of the dreams or the things which you feel you like might not be your dreams in the first place. So LLMs really help you come to your point. I remember in the start of the session I said, do not be very generic and model these LLMs according to your own narrative. Now, this is how you come up with your own narrative. You have to have a 7-day conversation. You can concise it to 1-day conversation, but I urge you to take a break, think, and dig deeper. In 7 days, you'll come up with a narrative for yourself. First, you speak about or ask the AI to ask you questions. Any AI use, Claude use, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Perplexity, whatever you use, ask the AI to ask you questions. Start a new chat itself. That becomes your nature, the origin story. Ask as a biographer. Ask me 10 questions about my ancestry, geography, unchangeable constraints. This is very important because you'll understand where you are coming from. That is very important. We can't be so disconnected from who we are. I don't understand Zara's positioning. Have you seen walked into a Zara store? Zara is selling jackets and big sweaters to people in Mumbai. I don't understand why. And I see some kids wearing that. What is the point? What is the point of wearing these winter wear? But they just dump it on us as if it's fashion. We feel that that's something which will make you fashionable, but Mumbai clothing is not about winter wear at all. All right. So this particular day is your job to skim through that BS. Second is the memory. Ask me about a specific memory, sensory details of my childhood, smells, sounds, textures, no visuals. All right. Then turning points. It will then interview about your biggest failures. This is where you start getting vulnerable. All right. Then impact, analyze and project. I am proud of, like what you have done that you per se you're proud of. Don't be too humble, because if you become humble, then people think that no, we can just use this person as a worker, need not be somebody who handles our brand, because brands cannot be humble unless you are huge. All right. Analyze 3 projects I'm proud of. Tell me what is the single common emotion I leave people with. This is something which you need to have a conversation with. Day 5, move into patterns. I will paste my 3 speeches, analyze them, find my distinctive metaphors and subconscious voices. This is important, where you just have a conversation. Just download something called as Whisper Flow, and do not type it out. Download something called as Whisper Flow and speak to the LLM as broken as you want, in whatever language you want to speak about. All right. And that is where you will find your own voice. 6 day connection. Look at my origin, which is the day one, and my future goals. Where is the tension and what is the bridge? The LLM will not give you all the answers, but it will at least push you towards finding your own answers. And at day 7, based on the 7 day conversation, draft a one pager narrative constitution defining my unfakeable story DNA. This, once you get that one pager, make those changes you want and put it in the LLM. Use that. If you use Claude, use that, put it in the skill set of the Claude. So in every chat, Claude will put those details out for you whenever you forget. All right. So this is how you come up with a narrative of yourself. It is going to take time. You have to skim through a lot of crap, but you will finally come to a certain point. All right. So with that, I have concluded the presentation, because this is something which I felt was very important. I wanted to have a one-on-one conversation. I think Ankita is there. I'm adding her one more time to check if her narrative surgery is fine. Can you hear me now?
Yes, right
Okay.
now I can hear you completely fine.
Great. Awesome.
Hi,
Awesome.
hi
Wow.
Shantanu.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So there are a few things I wanted to tell you.
Hmm.
First, thank you because I started my freelancing journey because of you. You would
Oh.
want to know how? Yeah, because of Outskill, attended one
Ah.
program and yeah, you remember if you ever made some linen clothing ads or something like
Oh,
that
I
ever?
think Indigo.
Yeah,
Indara or something. The
yeah,
blue
yeah,
color.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes, yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes. Of course, of
From
course.
there I took it up, I understood, and then I was side by side doing copywriting at the moment. Then suddenly I watched that, and some mind blew up, and like let's do it, let's do something. And then I kept it for a like bit, and then again picked it up and started my freelancing journey 3 months back. So basically it all goes up to you, like thank you so much, because you are there, you are showing me how to do it, and I did it, man. Yeah.
No,
So
good. I'm glad. I'm
yeah.
glad that your journey started, and I'm sure you must be killing it. If not, let's figure
Yeah.
it out. Tell me.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, it's been going like good only. Like from November, I have started doing it like completely. Like got all the subscription I could get, invested, then started learning it properly. Okay, and then made my portfolio. I got started like I started getting offers, job offers initially. Then one international client happened. Okay, and it was like everything was really nice. Like right now also I'm trying to figure things out on my own, since it's new for me again. And then right now working with a if you know, there's this brand called like a studio called Studio Blow. Are you
No,
aware?
no.
So it's there. So yeah, it's in Mumbai only. So I'm working remotely there. Yeah. And they're good people. I'm working with them currently, also doing some freelancing work here and there, trying to build my personal brand, trying to talk to you. Yeah. So
So
yeah.
exactly what are you going through? How has the journey been? First, tell me what are the problems you're facing? How would you like me to help you?
So I'll tell you one thing. Like, my dream isn't to do only AI videos or anything. To be upfront, and it starts from there. that I started doing it. But I don't want to be only a video creator, artist who sits in a room and make things. I want to do something bigger than that. At least I want to be a face of at least my brand, own personal brand. Like I want to be a creator for sure.
Right.
I know, like I love. Right now, I have started, new things. So I'm trying to come in front of the camera more often than I used to do it. So
Right.
and I enjoy it. By the way, I enjoy it. I enjoy coming in front of the whether I stammer, whether I'm like taking like shots or everything. But I really enjoy it, and I would wanna do something, along the way. What would love to work with AI. Like I'm trying to build, learn new things, because again, the work takes so much time with videos. I'm getting lesser times. That's the worst thing that that is happening to me right now. I'm getting so much less time for me to learn, and I would learn. I want to learn, man. I want to learn. That's the most important
How
thing, and
long
that's the
has it been? How long has it been since you have started freelancing? I think it's few months, right?
yeah. It's 2 months. Yeah, yeah. I'm earning decently only. Yeah, very decent,
So,
but yeah.
what I can tell you right now, based on what you are trying to say, that you're not finding time right now. If you have begun, you should not find time, because
Yeah.
these projects that you're getting at this stage, or you're doing something on your own, or the projects that you're working freelance with these people, right?
Freelance also. I'm like almost employed, as you can see. Like it's a office, and also freelancing. Like both the
Understood.
things.
So, see, ideally, if you have begun, do as many projects as you can. Some projects, most of the projects you should do is test yourself in doing things which you do not like. That actually builds a tolerance. What happens most of the time, the projects that we like when we make, there is a huge dopamine rush. Oh, wow, it's amazing. But right now is the time for you to use your skill set. Right now is the time for you to just not think about the outcome, but just outcome for the company. Once you understand that entire business loop, right, that is when your freelancing journey in the coming future also would become better. So I urge you to not think too much about not getting time for myself. Actually, you're lucky that you have found a job. Many
Hmm.
creative people in the industry are just sitting right there. Some of my contemporaries also, we used to write scripts initially thinking a producer will give us money. We never got money. I have few people of mine, my mentors also, who have been brilliant creative people. They are sitting on certain scripts at this stage, but they have not been able to do it because there is a heavy gatekeeping happening. They are not adapting to the current environment. They are not adapting to how things have changed completely. So make sure that you understand you're already in a privileged place with a job. You already have
Hmm.
money coming. All right. What you
Hmm.
need to do is not focus on what you like. How you are helping the company you are working for is really important. And one more thing which I'll tell you as you're beginning, make sure that you are not marinating in a lot of content online. When I say marinating, don't consume too much. If you want
Hmm.
to consume, don't consume with your eyes, consume books. Because as an artist, when you start visualizing stuff by reading the word, that is when
Hmm.
your original is going to come out. And these
Hmm.
projects that you're getting which you don't enjoy, those are actually the projects which are going to build your future, because you will build that tolerance. And that is very important for a creative person, because our life is very hectic. Our life is very difficult, because how would you justify what creative is right and what creative is good or not?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
completely is dependent on the other person, right? If people are reacting or not, it's a loop,
Yeah.
right? So every time if your things won't work, you'll go into some random depression. The idea is to be very detached with the process. Be detached with the process, be detached with the outcome. Make sure you just keep on doing stuff. Don't think about right and wrong. Don't think about I like it or not. That is how you need to approach things, and your journey will be phenomenal. Trust me.
One thing is there that with most agencies, I haven't actually reached out to brands as such that way. I tried few outreaching here and there that didn't work out really well. I tried Instagram outreaching initially, so it didn't work. So what happened is, mostly with AI, like if I'm talking international clients,
Hmm.
it's one thing that the agency owner or the company, who's the person who is running the agency, basically they say it's AI,
Hmm.
it looks AI. and that's the tedious thing, like the most weird thing I only hear, because it is AI. It is
No,
supposed to look like,
that's exactly what we spoke about in the first
yeah,
conversation.
I heard it. I heard it.
So the
It's
idea,
one of the
see,
things that is
sometimes,
bothering.
no, I understand, but sometimes breaking people's conditioning is not our job.
Yeah.
You just focus on giving the product out. If it's AI, it is AI. All right. You just make the story so compelling or the design so compelling that people forget if it's AI or not. And this is the initial phase of AI, any which ways. We have to go through that problem. You're not going to fix the world. It is a problem which is going to continue for the next 5 years. Post that, people will be very comfortable. This is the same problem which happened when Disney started making movies. People started saying this cannot qualify for an Oscar because it's cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Disney
Yeah.
made movies, right? You
Mm-hmm.
should see that documentary about Disney. It's free on YouTube. How he
Mm-hmm.
had to fight the fact that he made a better story, and that I think Snow White won an Oscar, and he still was not accepted in the industry because it was animation.
Mm.
So those problems are a problems of an era, which is not going to happen with you pushing back. Your job is to just keep on doing stuff.
And what about learning? Like, I'm not getting time. What about that?
So you
Like,
shouldn't get time right now for learning because learning on the job is a concept for you at this stage. What
okay.
exactly do you want to learn? If you want to learn something about your industry, you're already doing that with the job, which
Mm-hmm.
with each new project, you're already getting that. You can
Mm-hmm.
document that journey. You can document that journey, put yourself out there by saying that this is not dissing the client, which is the major problem we all go through. Don't diss the client.
No,
They are
no,
paying.
no, no.
But out your journey, put out your learnings. Don't put out the efforts that you're putting in. I don't put out my how much efforts I'm putting in making whatever I make because that's a very boring journey to look at. Nobody can
Yeah,
relate to it.
yeah. Everybody likes the outcome, not the
Everybody
process.
loves the outcome and everybody loves the process which is distilled. So put the process out which is distilled, which will help people like yourself find a new perspective. Otherwise, what's the point? Dissing the
Yeah.
client will give you some kind of
No,
traction. It's not going to
I
help you.
don't think I'm somebody who likes to this. And like, if I'm getting paid for something, then it's my job to do it. First of all, I take it like that. So yeah.
Yeah, of course, 100%. So that's the idea. I think you are going in the right direction. You are lucky that you already have a job. You should be you should be really happy at this stage, and you can definitely speak to whoever is on your right side, whom you are
Yeah.
trying to speak right now. You just live
I would
life.
love for you to look at my LinkedIn. Like, since we are already speaking, if you have 1 minute, you
Yeah,
can
of
just.
course, of course. 100. Not right now, but if you can
I
just tell
texted
me.
you. Tell me what.
Tell me. You can just later tell me exactly what your problems are. But right now, I understand what your problems are. Your problem is too much work, which is a great
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, and
Great
also
problem.
I
So be
want to
lucky.
learn things, new things. I love learning new things. Not only video side of it, but also other things are there, right? And since I'm a beginner, I'm just trying to learn new things. It's I love it. I just recently met
I'll
my
tell
close.
you, you're very
Yeah,
young at this stage. I'll tell you about us. We are kind of old. I took up AI 18 months ago. All right. It was supremely difficult because we came from a perspective that we have already done big movies and series. Why the hell are we supposed to do AI content creation? I had to
yeah,
fight my own conditioning. It is very
yeah.
difficult. But along with running the agency, which is actually running my house at this stage, I had to spend nights to learn this new tool. And this is particularly very important because it is our job to adopt as creatives. It is our job to adopt. So if you're not getting time to learn, find time. If there are 24 hours, make it 30 hours.
Got
There
it.
is no other option.
Got
We
it.
don't have the option of not adopting. Everybody else has automatically industry pushes them to adopt. But when it comes to
Mhm.
storytelling or creativity, you can always go back to painting stuff.
Yeah.
There are options in terms of creativity, but if you want to adopt to this new wave of creativity, every day you have to spend learning. I have to sit every day finding new tools which can help me. I throw away many of the tools, but some of the tools really I have to be updated with. Otherwise I won't be able to teach people like yourself. So that's a
Yeah.
matter of job. That's a matter of something which you have to do. You have to do. You have the option of saying, I don't get time. Imagine I take every week, I take these sessions. I don't have the option of saying, I have not learned a new tool. People will not even call me for sessions, you know?
Yeah.
So
So
that
true.
is
So
something.
true.
So
I'm
just
learning, but it's the learning
one
is
more
small. Yeah.
one more point I'll give you. Tie your learning to the outcome, which means tie your
Mm.
learning to your content on social media. That way you'll
Mm.
have to do it.
Yeah, and that way I'll get one piece of
Yeah,
content as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
One piece of content daily, one piece of information daily, and people will also learn with you.
I can I have one question. Do you think since I'm doing something visually, do
Hmm.
you think a talking head video, only a talking head video, without showing a lot of visuals, only talking about it, do me a benefit or something like that? Because
I have
again,
started
that's
putting
so good.
I started putting it out there not for people but to clear my concepts. You should see the
Okay.
talking head videos I do. Very minimal visuals, but the script has to have depth. Like the video
Ah,
I put out recently was, why the hell are we stuck in these rectangles? Who decided it
okay.
for us?
Okay.
Are you familiar with why all the screens are rectangle?
Mm-hmm.
Screens are rectangle because they are easy to stack in a warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And we creatives adopted to that and called it film. You have to
Yeah,
understand. So I think about these problems and I put out the video. So you also do the same.
got it.
Don't worry
Got it.
about the format. Just make a good topic, and it will not
Yeah.
go viral at the start, but you will at least learn from it, right? That's the idea.
Again, we are not getting enough time for putting out content. It's really,
All right,
I
I
know
think
it's cues, I
these
guess. Yeah.
problems are you will solve these
Yeah.
problems, and I wish you all the best. With that, I'll
Yeah.
have to
Thank you.
now move ahead and give my closing line because people have been really patient. And thank you so much for sharing your story. There is Anuradha who's saying
Thank-
who's congratulating you already for sharing your
Okay.
stories. Thank you so much for that. All right, see you. Take care. All the
Bye
best.
bye.
All right, so with that, we have officially come to the final stage where we end this live chat. It had been a crazy session. I hope it was a crazy session for you. Drop in the comment section if it was really good for you, so that I get motivated enough to make the next narrative surgery episode with you guys. The theory, I'm also evolving the theory as we speak. Uh, but this is distilled from all the work that I've been doing for many secret organizations, also many brands, also many political parties, also. And I feel that this is something which, on a large scale, should come out. And I hope that this particular session had been really crazy for you. Uh, I hope you guys have taken in screenshots of having the 7 day LLM conversations. And I wish you all the best in your journey. I hope to see you in the episode 2 of Narrative Surgery with new songs that I'll create for Narrative Surgery episode 2. And please feel free to follow me, subscribe on YouTube. I'm starting to put out some crazy content. I'm just working on it. I don't want to flood the social media with too much of content, but I want to put out right content which fits my narrative. So feel free to please reach out to me, follow me, subscribe me, so I can make more stuff. Thank you so much. God bless you.